to the Sheepless Life Podcast. We are your hosts, Ivonne Delaflor and Séverine Naessens. We have created this podcast as an extension of our Sheepless Life online program, and we invite you to join us as we go into honest, raw, and from time to time controversial conversations on everyday topics, womanhood, empowerment, motherhood, business, sisterhood, leadership, and life in general. Sit back, relax, feel free to take notes, and reach out to us on our social media to keep the conversation going. Welcome to this brand new episode of the Sheepless Life Podcast. This is episode 59 already, and today we are going to talk about our experience with the challenge 75 hard. On this side of the microphone, Séverine at your service, and on the other side we have Ivonne with us. Hi, Ivonne.
Hi, Seve. I'm super excited to be here because we're going to share about our individual and then also as a team experiences of doing this. I know Séverine just said challenge, but I just read the book of this program called 75 Hard. And now I know, Seve, that 75 Hard, the first 75 days are called the boot camp. It's a preparatory. Yes, you better laugh because it's a preparatory boot camp, kind of a rite of passage for us to be able to do the next phases. But we are super excited to be here to share our experience. This is something we both did at the same time. We both held each other accountable. Just obviously, each of us were our own accountability. We both are very disciplined. I can say that of Séverine and of myself. We don't need anyone to remind us what to do. So we had that in our advantage. But we also, it was really nice, at least for me, to know that I will be committing to do certain things. We were sharing on social media, etc., and tag her and also tag the Sheepless Life, which is the project and enterprise that we are, business partners in together. So we had not only ourselves as accountability, but also Sheepless Life, the women that are in there, the future of the Sheepless Life. And so that's it. That's it.
Yeah, and it was amazing. And it was indeed a boot camp. My booty got kicked.
It's so hard.
Big time. But it was a lot of fun, and there's a lot of things that we can share about it. And we decided to do this podcast because many people have reached out to both of us to ask, why are you doing this?
Well, the best one, Seve, the best one is when they reach out to me like, oh, Ivonne, you both completed that. It looks like you suffered a lot. I'm like, no. We didn't suffer. We actually love it. The harder it got, I don't know for you, Seve, but the more I loved it. It sounds weird. Please don't take this as a double message, everybody, but it's the harder it got, the more I loved it because the more I found out that I was more capable to follow through and do it. But let me quickly, before we go through our 3 points, just let them know. 75 Hard is a program created by Mr. Andy Frisella. And for those of you who don't know him, he has an incredible podcast. He has incredible companies. He leads so many groups of leadership, of entrepreneurship, and tactical guides to actually get things done. His book is called 75 Hard, a tactical guide to winning the war with yourself. And I tell you, this couldn't be truer for me because the war that you find in whatever you commit to in relationships, in finances, in businesses, in parenting, in fitness, in health and life is never going to be, the enemy is never going to be something external. It's going to be inside of your mind. It's going to be, and I don't want to, Séverine hasn't received her book. I got 5 books for people that I really loved. And obviously the first book for myself, which I love myself for just having gone through this and just skip through it. We're right now in another phase of 75 Hard called phase 1. But I got this book and I cried my eyes out. I was reading this book at my last week of the first round of 75 Hard, and Andy speaks in it. And I don't want to tell you everything because this is like the greatest thing that you will read. And I don't want to spoil it for you. But he says that there's 2 voices that you will encounter in this program. The BITCH voice, beach voice and the boss voice. And you cannot let the beach voice wins. You cannot let the voice of like it's too late. You are too weak. Maybe tomorrow, maybe a little bit less water, maybe a little food right now. You can't negotiate with the beach voice within you. You got to have the boss in you lead this show, lead this war, and take you forward to completing a task that you promise yourself you will. And so this is an incredible, the book, the program, the intention of Mr. Frisella. The 75 Hard has become a global movement. It has helped thousands and thousands of people win the war with themselves. It is not, I want to emphasize this, it is not a physical transformation program, though those are cool results to have. You know, Séverine, you'll talk about yours. Those are amazing results, palpable results. You start taking pictures every day, etc. Séverine will go through the 5 steps. Maybe you can do those 75 hard 5 steps. But you do look the transformation in your body. But the most important for me, it was such a spiritual and mental experience. It was psychological, physiological, physical, and my discipline increased to levels that I never thought of I could increase. The confidence in yourself just grows per the moment. And it is not, I do want to tell you, it is not just physical, because I've had people reach out to me, well, I don't need to do that program because I'm already doing a fitness program over here and my abs are getting great, or my elbows. Yeah, the elbows. If your elbows get great, call me. I have no clue. My shoulders, my arms, my legs. But this is not the point of 75 Hard. This is because I've been a spiritual teacher for more than 20 years. I can tell you, it's like enlightenment. I can't tell you what it is. You got to go through it and work every day for it. That's all I want to say. So, Seve, you want to go through the 5 tasks that 75 Hard you got to do for 75 days?
Yes, absolutely. Well, the 1st of May, we got started and it looked simple. I said, okay, well, we can do this. And you do 2 workouts every day, 45 minutes outside, 45 minutes inside, at least. Then you drink 1 gallon or 4 liters of water. You take a progress picture. You read 10 pages of a book, which is not a novel or whatever entertaining book. You want to reach out and find books that will stimulate your mind, books that you will learn from, and books that will inspire you. No alcohol or cheat meals. And yeah, that's that. I'm already thinking about the ones that we're doing now. No, I'm going to stop right there.
Oh my God. Yes. So is the daily picture, the 10 pages of entrepreneurial reading, the no cheat meals, no alcohol, healthy eating, sticking to that diet or that lifestyle, 1 gallon of water per day. And the workouts, this is very important. You do 45 minutes outside, 45 minutes inside, but they cannot be consecutive. You cannot say like, oh, I'm already in the gym, I'm going to go outside. You got to separate them in times in the schedule, because the program is meant not to be convenient, because the mind gets used to the convenience. You get used to the comfort zone, and you don't grow in the comfort zone. You don't grow in convenience. Actually, I always try to walk when it was the hotter here in Las Vegas, 111 degrees, 112. But, by the end of the 45 minutes, I was like dragging my foot. But as soon as I completed it, I will be like, yes, I micro celebrated every day that I completed. And I want to pay tribute to you, partner, because you did it in your first round of 75 Hard. This was my 3rd intent. The first one, I forgot 1 page of reading. I read 9 pages instead of 10. I fell asleep.
Oh.
The second round, I had a very severe injury in my abdomen. I really couldn't move. I had a lot of pain, so I had to pause it. So the third one, we brought the troops in, the Sheepless babes, right? With Séverine. But we did something before we did 75 hard. We did 30 days, the calendar club with Jesse Itzler, which we venture ourselves to do planks every day, etc. We'll leave that for another podcast because Séverine was such an incredible planker. But we were ready. We didn't skip a thing. We held accountability for ourselves, for each other. We kept posting on social media, and we just kept doing it. And one thing I want to tell you, because at the end we did the 75 days. We both did we posted on social media for people to see, hopefully to motivate them, also for us to be accountable that we were starting the next day. We did not wait it. The next day we started phase 1. We are not going to explain phase 1 right now. We're just going through hell right now, which is good. It's so hard. It's so hard. It's harder than the first 75 days, but we're okay. After these 30 days, we're going into phase 2. And then we have to wait to do phase 3 in a year when we started 75 hard first. So in between, that's going to be the big challenge. In between, we don't have 75 hard. We got to figure it out how to stay in the top of our mind, in the top of our body and our spirit. So anyway, so let's go through the 3 points, Seve.
Well, the reason why we're recording this podcast is because people were asking, why did you go do that? Why would you put yourself through something like this? And honestly, for me, it was, since we're with the whole pandemic and everything that's going on, for me, it was a very welcome thing to do to keep my mind focused, to keep me busy with things that are healthy for me, that are good for my mindset. And I also wanted to test myself, and I wanted to push myself through outside of my comfort zone, looking for a challenge, because I know there were several things within this challenge, within this program, that were challenging for me. And also, one of the other reasons is because you invited me to join you and do this, and I'm always in for a good challenge. So those are, for me, those are the main reasons, specifically to keep myself from slacking, to keep my focus, laser focus on what I want to achieve. And honestly, it has helped me a lot to get a lot of things done. But we'll go into that in a bit. How about you? Why did you decide to give it another go?
Well, I'm going to go into the spiritual part. For me, I've always committed to something that challenges both my mind, my body, and my spirit to the next levels. Having had a near-death experience, losing an arm, being told that I was never going to walk, not being able to move a hand, etc., I got to keep my mind moving forward consistently. And as a spiritual teacher, I have something that I choose always to bring, which is not things that are that move us forward and don't stagnate us in things of the past. I'm not a typical spiritual teacher. I'm really into natural law, very practical, very into self-reliance, resilience. And this was a spiritual call for me. It felt like a rite of passage. I've studied a lot of the school of Joseph Campbell, the hero's journey, and literally felt like a call for the hero. It felt like a call of the soul. And with the pandemic, with all of the things that happened, which doesn't make sense to me yet, we gotta talk about that in another podcast because I gotta say what my soul claims. It's the stupidest thing that I've witnessed, but also the most awakening at the same time for humanity. But I like to train when nobody's training. I like to do things when others want to sleep. I like to double and bet on myself more when people say, let's do it next week. Let's take a vacation. What's happening? Oh, just relax. Take one more. Those things are triggers for me to go to the next level, because so few people do it. I know I'm going to have leverage. I know I'm going to increase my personal power, and that I'm going to be more resilient once I go through this, and actually more responsible in my leadership. I also did it because I wanted a program that could purify my already commitment to lead, to be the example, to be true and brave. That's my pledge. So this is why I did it. And I also wanted just to go through it, because the first time, no. The second, no, I was like, I was kind of mad with myself. So thanks for joining me in this quest.
Absolutely. My pleasure. And
my pleasure and my pain, right? Because
my pleasure, my pain.
So sore. It's my pain.
You can have yours. I have enough of mine.
That's really good.
Yeah, but it was a lot of, it was hard and fun at the same time, and I think we're wired in a way that whenever we go into the dark side, whenever we go into pain, whenever we go into hardship of some sort, we always look for the best, and we always look to learn from that, and that is part of the mindset that Sheepless Life promotes, is to always push through and empower yourself, and this was for me a very empowering program, very empowering 2 months and a half to actually see and notice and be a witness of what I am capable of, and not go into suffer mode. Keep going.
I love that.
And always push for a little bit more. Talking about pushing through, what was the hardest part for you in this in the 75 Hard program?
I think it was the first stage, and Andy calls it, there's 8 phases on 75 Hard. And the first phase, I think he calls it, is like the week of disorientation. And it's like that you are like disoriented, like my workout here and there, where will I put it, et cetera, et cetera. But for me, it was the hardest part for me was all the news that I was receiving. I do feel sometimes I feel a lot of pain for the things that are happening in humanity. And just to battle that voice, I encountered the beach voice a couple of times, like, like poor humanity. I was like, not poor humanity. We're doing this for the humanity now. It's like, it was the inner conversation. It was never outside. I have no problem with saying no. I have no problem with the food. I have no problem with not answering the phone to people, etc., etc. I think that the most, it's hard for me even to say that it was hard, because I think we enjoyed it so much, and the harder it got, it really, I had moments where I was super physically exhausted, and I literally took my body, like last night in phase 1, I was just walking by. My body was doing the workout. I have no clue how I finished it, but I finished it. But it was hard, and sometimes it was less sleep. Sometimes it was, the exercise at night would wire me up, and I couldn't sleep. So, but it was mainly at the beginning. After it was the harder it got, the easier it got. So that was just those moments. How about for you?
For me, the hardest part way at the beginning, I actually had a lot of resistance on the no alcohol part. This is so, it makes me laugh, because, well, I'm not an alcoholic, luckily, with all due respect. But I do remember that I have been very stressed out. I've been very tired. I've been doing a lot of personal work. And then at night I would sit down and have a glass of wine and really enjoy and relax. Yeah. But letting that go, we actually, the 1st of May is my wedding anniversary. So we actually celebrated the night before, because I told my husband, okay, tomorrow's our anniversary, but you know what? We'll celebrate today, because as of tomorrow, no more alcohol. So we cracked a bottle of champagne. We had that bottle.
Drink it all, baby.
The night before, we drank it all. And then on the very 1st of May, I was so decided not to have one drop of alcohol anymore. And honestly, it has been such a great experience to not have a drop of alcohol for 75 days and counting, because it's given me a lot more clarity. It has allowed me to
Yeah.
wake up 100% clear, because I didn't notice that when I was drinking it was 1 or 2 glasses of wine. It's not much, but still in the morning, my mind would be clouded. And now I see the clarity. Now I feel the clarity, and it's such a blessing not to be drinking alcohol. And honestly, I thought I would be struggling with it, but after about 10 days, my husband had a glass of wine in front of me, and I didn't even feel like having some wine, so that was really amazing. And how we can train our mind
Yes.
to make these changes is such a blessing. The
And
alcohol
food?
thing, and then
How about food?
the food, it's been good. I have had
You even became a
quite a healthy.
vegan. Did you become
Well,
a vegan?
No, I haven't become a vegan, but I did. Part of my challenge was, I challenged myself to take classes on vegan food.
I
I'm
know.
not a
I saw
vegan.
you making vegan cheeses. I was so
Yes,
hungry that
they're
day.
so good.
Me was challenging the food. And now that, because I chose to do the first 10 days, it was keto and then macros and micros. And I had zero clue what were macros. I was like, I have heard it, that it sounds cool. I had no idea. And then I figured out macros, you need 120 grams of protein. I'm like, who
Yes.
eats that? It's like eating like a lion. It's like,
Yes.
how am I going to put that to the body that I'm usually like a vegan? So that was a challenge, learning how to eat better. But now I'm getting it.
But yeah, it's been good. I've left out a lot of meat. I will eat some chicken and fish, but I actually did pretty much quit red meat. Not 100%. I've had like some ground meat in pasta and things.
I've been craving meat. I'm just going to tell you this,
really?
raw vegan for many years. Yeah, I think, your body will ask you as long as it's clean. But I did stick to very lean protein. I did had a lot of like tempeh, etc., or a lot of protein powders, which I love. I love a protein powder. This is not a commercial. It sounds like it, but it's just such an incredible flavor of ice cream. It's called First Form. That it's actually also a company from Mr. Frisella. But anyways, let's go to the next question.
What was the gift? What was the gift for you from these 75 days?
The gift is the feeling. I don't think I can put it into words, of having gone through that and knowing I can go through a next level challenge. Knowing that I can, it's such an incredible gift, and to be able to have that accountability with myself, to have kept that promise to myself, and then to have the now like the gods, and now kind of like now I can begin to share, hey guys, if you want to do 75 hard, I highly recommend it. If I hadn't gone through it, I had no right to say to people, hey, do 75 hard, is going to change your life. I want to say them with all of my heart right now. If you choose to go through this is a rite of passage. This is a leadership initiation. It will change your life. It will. It will. So that was the gift for me. How about for you?
For me, the gift has been clarity, strength, and stamina.
Oh, wow. That's so, I want to rethink my answer. I love that. Okay, why?
Because what I just mentioned with no alcohol and drinking 4 liters of water, ladies and gentlemen, I used to drink about 3 big cups of coffee and 1 liter of water. Now I'm down to 2 cups of coffee and 4 liters of water. My kidneys and my skin say thank you.
Oh, yes. Beauty rules, baby.
Oh, yeah, beauty. Absolutely. And the strength, working out twice a day, even though I didn't go do CrossFit or anything like that, I've been walking a lot. I've been doing a lot of yoga and Pilates, and my body is getting so toned and strong. Yes. And also I've gotten a lot of stamina. We have a stair walker at home, and like an exercising machine thingy. And in the beginning, the very first week, I would get onto that thing. And after 10 minutes, I would be panting. I would be like, oh, am I there yet? Oh, another 35 more to go. And I would have to take short breaks, drink water, and get up again and do another 10 minutes, and then do another 10 minutes until I got 45 minutes of the thing in. And right now I can get onto the machine and do 45 minutes straight without blinking. And that for me is huge. But not being able to do 10 minutes in a row and then being able to do 45, that is stamina. And now I know I can take a lot. And also the physical transformation.
Oh, yes. You do have a physical transformation, and it is indeed amazing.
Oh, that is the biggest gift for me, for my self-esteem, for my empowerment, for my own inspiration.
Yes.
I just have to look in the mirror and see what changes it has brought to my body. I dropped 15 pounds, and I wasn't aiming to drop weight. That is the craziest thing of all. I didn't go into this challenge going, okay, now I'm going to go lose weight. That was not my goal.
Right.
But it came as an extra gift.
I think that, yes, I think that's because we're not attached to that. And we're attached just to follow the simple instructions, right?
Yes.
Keep the challenge, the 75 hard experience, and its purest of forms. I think that's not only why we got results, but it's a humble process, it enriches the commitment to yourself. But those prices were not like when I took the pictures, like at the end, I was like, wow,
yes.
I did transform also physically, and that shows the inner transformation. So
absolutely.
Wow. Do we have any other points, or did we cover them all?
Well, I think we covered most of it. I just want to make a huge shout out to Andy Frisella for setting this program up, for being so raw in how he shares the information and how he goes through the process. He totally leads by example.
Oh my gosh, he's such a genuine human. I've been telling people, please listen to the podcast. If you are offended by words like F and S and all of that, just bypass them, because it's a genuine humans that really genuinely care of leadership, of businesses, in relationships. Him and his wife, Emily Frisella, they're such great examples of leadership. I look up to them. But anyways, but 75 hard, anybody that desires to do it, I highly recommend it. Very important. It's, don't think you have to, this is not something like people, oh my gosh, I cannot go to the gym twice. I cannot lift weights. As Séverine said, you can walk and you actually can do yoga indoors. As long as you stay consistent, persistent, this grows your confidence into Godfidence. I call it Godfidence. And in the book of 75 Hard, Mr. Frisella talks about the experience of God mode. I'm not going to say more, because then I tell you the full story and you got to go through it, read the book.
No spoiler alert.
And doing very important. Please don't cheat onto yourself. If you forgot the picture, start all over again. If you didn't eat your meals and you had a cheat meal, start all over again. It doesn't matter. People have started even at day 65. I started at day 61 when I had the injury in my abs, and the other one was day, I think 41 or something like that, when I fell asleep and I didn't read. So now I don't read at night, and I learned my lesson.
You learned your lesson.
I have my books. I'm like, it's on, baby. It's on. Now I learn. And so have accountability as much as possible. Have reminders in your phone. The success for me, I prepared one day before my gallon of water, my food, etc. But however you do, just be consistent and don't cheat. Because if you complete the 75 hard program by cheating, I promise you are not going to feel as great as Séverine and I feel. And you are not going to go to the next. The program is not the 75 days. That's just the beginning. And that's all I have to say. That's it.
Well, thank you once again for listening to the Sheepless Life Podcast. We are your hosts, Ivonne Delaflor and Séverine Naessens, and we will See you next time.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, share it and tag us at Sheepless Life. We'd also love to hear from you. Join us on Facebook and Instagram and sign up for the free masterclass we've recorded for you on Sheepless Living on www.sheeplesslife.com. Step out of the herd, become radically you, and create the future you really want.